Back to AM Jackson on WKHM, Jackson's News Talk 970 AM and 101.5 FM.
Michigan's personal injury law firm, Wigod and Falzon, joining us in the studio. It's Larry Falzon. Larry, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing exceptionally well.
We got
Good to
snow
see
today.
We got a little bit of snow, not that much, enough to kind of stick to the grass and make the roads a little wet, but. Yeah. It always snows in April.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not the
snow
slip and
ice.
fall kind of snow, right? And you brought your associate here.
Yeah,
one of your
Bumstead is here. He's crashed on the floor right now.
One of your managing partners.
He is.
Does he go in the office with you
every day?
Every day.
Yeah, he's our mascot. The girls love him.
I'm jealous because I've got a few dogs at home and he's so well behaved.
Yep.
He's so well behaved. So, we've got legal bites going on with Wigod and Falzon. Larry Falzon in the studio with us. If you have a question, 787-3397. But we've had a couple emails come in the past few weeks, and let's just go unless you got a monologue prepared or any opening statements.
Let's see what the people are interested in.
Let's jump right in. So this question comes in. We'll say anonymous. My employer is not giving us the newly passed paid sick time and says if he is forced to, that he will take it away from our vacation time. Is this new sick time pay in effect currently? We are all small business that has more than 10 employees. Can they take it away from our vacation pay? Wow.
Yeah, I know this. This is not my area of law, but I know it because I'm a small business owner and I have to go through it. The law is in effect. It was passed just recently, and I think the legislature indicated that all businesses have to provide a certain amount of time. So it's like 72 hours to their employees of what they call PTO, paid time off. So, the employees are entitled to that. And you can't not give them that under the law, but you can call it whatever you want. So, in other words, my employees get probably more than 72 hours of PTO just based on their employment status and their contracts and what we agreed to when they. So the 72 hours doesn't affect me because my employees, let's say the lowest employee gets 90 a year. So 72 means nothing, right? They don't get another 72 over what the employer has already given them. However, if the employer was only giving them, let's say 48 hours of PTO, then it has to be pushed up to 72. Mm-hmm. If an employer wants to call that vacation time or sick time or a combo, it doesn't make a difference what you call it. Yeah. The employee is entitled to 72 hours.
Didn't that law state somewhere in there, like companies that have X number of employees it applies to and have X number below it doesn't?
Yeah, I think 10 is the number.
10 is the number, okay.
I believe that's true.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of federal laws, you have to have at least 50. But state, they have dropped it down. And most small businesses have probably less than 10.
And that's why, we've got a lot of small business. Every area's got a lot of small businesses. But, you value our mom and pops here in Jackson.
sometimes the legislature, not to get political, but these
it
guys,
happens.
these guys, most of these people never ran a small business, and they don't know the costs involved and what it's like when when California upped the minimum wage for fast food restaurants. You got restaurants closing left and right because they can't afford it, and the consequences of what they do, the legislature, especially in Michigan, especially with the no-fault law. It can be devastating for people.
And get a signature brand burger with fries and a Coke, and you're like $20 out now.
Yeah,
it's
wild.
It is crazy.
But it's the world we live in.
When you have situations like this, though, I'm going to assume David or the person here loves their job. It's got to be a little difficult to consider what your legal rights are and to consider taking some sort of action when you love your job, you love the people who work there, and you don't want to at the risk of being retaliated against by your employer.
Right. So there are mechanisms by which you could, as they say, drop a dime and call, the Employment Bureau in Lansing and probably, I don't like it, but I would hope that I think what this I think what this person who's asking this question is experiencing the knee-jerk reaction of his employer who just doesn't want the government telling him how to run his business.
Get that? Yeah.
And I think that when calmer heads prevail, I think he's going to do the right thing, and he's going to give the people what the law requires, and he'll be disgruntled about it. But I truly believe he's going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just you got to get past that knee-jerk. That was my knee-jerk. When I heard it, I said, I can't believe they're telling me how to run my business again. But, if I don't like it, I go to the voting polls and I vote for the people who don't believe in this stuff. And, other people are going to vote for people who do believe in it. It's part of the process, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we have another question there. Do you want to read that, or do you want me to take care of it for you?
Wow.
Go for it.
I'm going to read it because it's so but this question is, I saw this, and it's like a law professor wrote this. I'm going to read it in its entirety, then I'll try to break it down.
Okay.
How much time do I have left?
You got time.
Okay. This is the question from Anonymous. My question is that I just got off the phone with my insurance provider for both home and auto. I noticed my bill went up, and it's because they have PIP coverage, which is no-fault coverage, on me for $200 a month. It covers up to $250,000. I do have health insurance through work, but a high deductible. So a two-part question. First, which insurance do you think would kick in first if I were to get in an accident? My thinking would be that I'm not going to name the company, but my auto insurance, since I am paying for it, but it doesn't, but if it doesn't, then am I thinking I should cancel it? Also, for PIP insurance with this company, do you think it would cover only certain sustained injuries from the accident or anything from a minor neck injury to severe injuries? So this is a multi-layer question.
Yeah.
Let's try to break it down for me and everybody else who's of average intelligence.
We call that an onion question because there's layers to it. Yeah.
So first of all, everyone's got to understand that insurance is a contract. Okay, it's a contract that you have. You make a contract with an insurance company, and you have to go by what that contract says. Okay, so in this particular scenario, this man has two contracts. He has one with his health provider, and he has one with his auto insurance. Okay, and they're not the same company. So you have to break that down, and I would imagine if he has insurance through work, health insurance, he had nothing to do with that contract. The employer has the negotiating power with that insurance company. We go work for somebody, they say, we do offer health insurance, here's your plan, see you later. And you don't have a say in it, and if you don't want it, it's a benefit.
You don't sign it.
You don't sign it. You don't take it. The employer doesn't have to pay for it, whatever. But whatever that contract is, it is what it is. It is what it says. You, on the other hand, do have a supposed negotiating power with your auto insurance carrier because there's a variety of different policies that you could buy, and the more you insure and you get insured for, the more money it costs you. Okay? So, having said that, you have to be aware of what the contracts say. Now, this gentleman or woman is asking, I have health insurance with a high deductible and an auto insurance carrier. If I get in an accident, who pays? He thinks it's his auto. That's incorrect.
Okay.
Now, it may be incorrect, okay? And the reason I say that is because it's very complicated.
Dependent on situations, I'm sure.
It depends on the contract.
Okay.
So in Michigan, the general rule of thumb is that if you have health care and you have auto and you get in an auto accident, The general rule is healthcare pays first.
Okay.
Unless you're coordinated. And if you're coordinated with your health, then you got to go to the auto. And if the auto says, well, wait a second, we're coordinated too, you go back to health.
Okay.
So generally speaking, in a situation where there are two coordinated policies, health pays first.
Okay.
Now, this person says, hey, I've got a high deductible. Well, the good news is that if you have a high deductible in your health, the auto has to pick up the deductible.
Mm-hmm. He's fine.
Is he? Okay.
I'm making sure he stays away from wires.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
your managing partner is very curious
Bubs
about the
curious, right? So you have to, and this is why sometimes it's best to call an attorney for that free call, that free advice, because they can, they see this all the time. They know what's going on. I'll throw a monkey wrench in. If I have an auto health insurance, if I work for the big three and I have health insurance with them, they're paying for that, and they have pretty good policies. And I have auto with somebody, AAA, State Farm, Farmers, whoever, and I'm paying for that. If I get in an accident and I work for the big three, my health doesn't pay because the health it's set up on a federal program called an ERISA program.
Oh, gosh.
And ERISA is I know it's the statute that says we don't pay auto. You got to go to your auto carrier. So even though the general rule is health is first, auto second, if the policy is an ERISA-based policy, it's now auto first and health probably never.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Auto can be full or coordinated. And on top of all that, auto allows you to pick deductibles, and it allows you to pick limits. So my deductible could be $1,000 or $300. My limits can be $50,000, $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, and unlimited.
Okay.
Okay. So in this scenario here, the auto has to pay. In the health, it doesn't matter whether it's a sore neck or severe injuries. Whatever the contract says, that's what they're going to pay.
Okay.
Okay. And my recommendation, I've been doing personal injury for many decades, and I have Blue Cross, a full Blue Cross policy through my office.
Okay.
And I have auto insurance, and I get unlimited no fault.
Okay.
With no coordination. And the reason I do that is because if you have health and auto and coordinated, not coordinated, high deductible, low deductible, you're going to end up paying. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you don't have unlimited no fault, you're going to end up paying somehow, whether it's somewhere a deductible. Let's say you have Medicare. Medicare only covers so much PT. They only cover so much of this or so much of that. If you have Medicare and you do something called opt-out of auto, you're paying that out of pocket. There's no insurance. If they say you owe us for the deductible or you owe us for this coordination, you're picking that money out of your pocket, your savings. I'm telling everybody who's listening, go to your – I know it's going to cost you more. I know it sucks because it costs you more. But the best insurance to have in this state in auto is unlimited, non-coordinated.
Yeah.
It protects you unlimited for the rest of your life. For any accident you get in, you will have medical benefits for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Even if you stop paying on your auto policy.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. If I get in an auto accident and I've got one company, let's say, I don't know, Acme Insurance.
Okay, Acme Insurance, love it. Bugs Bunny's company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I have that company and I get in an auto accident and I have unlimited, non-coordinated, they're locked into that accident even if next week I go out and buy Farmers.
Really? Oh, interesting. Okay.
So auto it irks me a little bit because it's the most complicated. You have to have it if you drive a car. Mm-hmm. Michigan legislature says you must have it.
Right.
And no one explains it. I mean, if you call my office, I'll get you a pamphlet.
Right.
But other than that, There's no public service ads telling you what to do and what not to do. It's awful.
And kind of like you alluded to earlier, the different policies, layers upon layers. The more layers that are added, the confusing it gets.
Right.
When you've exhausted your health, if you get into an accident, if you exhausted your health, at one point does the auto kick in?
If you don't opt out.
Okay.
And remember, when you go to your agent, he says, "Well, how much benefits do you want?" Let's say you say, "I want 100,000 benefits." If your health care runs out and you use that 100, there's no more insurance.
Okay.
It's gone. You're done. Okay, then you're probably, if you're that bad off, you might be trying to get on Medicaid at that point.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. And you deal with these complicated issues quite often?
It's my life.
It's your life. It's your life. All right.
That's right. And it's a free call.
Okay.
Don't guess wrong. Call. You don't have to call me. Call the lawyer. If they don't give you free advice, call me.
But if they want to call you, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
You can go to the website, wigodandfalzon.com. You can go to, the number is 877-2-GET-PAID.
Okay.
I can give you another number, 248-356-3300. That puts you right into my office, in my main office in Southfield. We do have the office here in Jackson that runs off the 877-2-GET-PAID number. We'll be happy to take care of you, happy to talk to you.
Very good. Anything else going on?
Holy cow, I'm exhausted.
I see that. It's kind of like my dad. You get worked up when you get into what you're passionate about. You get worked up
because the government doesn't do enough to help the people in this state.
Well, you get that way because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And you love helping people and you love what you do. And it makes a difference. When you have somebody who loves what they do, they just work harder for you because they love it. I know. I've seen it my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right. Well, nice talking to you again.
Good talking to you as well. Thank you for being here, and bring your partner with you every time, okay?
I will. He's sleeping again.
He was. He took the most unique tour that anybody else has ever taken here.
Yeah. On all fours.
On all fours. Down by my ankles.
Oh, okay. Well.
All right. We're looking forward to it next month.
All right. Take care, Mark.
You're listening to AM Jackson on Newstalk 970 AM 101.5 FM. That's Legal Bites with Larry Falzon from Wigod and Falzon, FalzonLaw.com. Back with more here in just a little bit.